1 week, 1 day, 1 hour. These are the parameters in which we approach my 2020 trip report to Orlando, Florida, aka the quest for more credits. That's right, folks. We're gonna Dunkirk it. We're gonna Dunkirk it. Woo!
Well, I think we should say it properly, Tiki. We're gonna Dunkirk it.
Dunkirk it. We're gonna Dunkirk it. Okay, Dragon. Man, we're kind of flying by the seat of our pants on this format, folks. This is pretty much like we're going to attempt to be Christopher Nolan in this podcast. Because, Dragon, would you like to explain to the good folks how this weird format came about, like the necessity to do a format like this?
Well, in the past, we've done trip reports. They've gone on and on and on in a few parts, and just it gets exhausting. So we thought we'd jazz it up a little. And this time, we thought we'd do it Dunkirk style, Dunkirk. And basically, the way it's going to break down is kind of give like the text at the start of the movie, if you will, kind of our stab at kind of a Dunkirky kind of like structure to this evening. So, of course, Tiki, just because serendipity, we were just going to try to aim for Dunkirk, but then we realized, oh my god, it literally lines up with, like, Tiki's trip. Where we have, like,
does.
Basically, kind of the week goal of the trip is kind of this coaster challenge that Tiki has set up, which essentially is, I've shorthanded kind of the Futurama, 300 cups of coffee approach. The 300 cups of coffee approach where Tiki, explain to the folks what credits are.
Credits for anyone not in the coaster community are simply you get a credit for each and every coaster you ride. It doesn't matter if it's like a clone of a coaster or what, there could be like, you could go on 100 kiddie coasters with the exact same model, and each one of those is a different credit. So essentially, credits, you want to get as many as possible. That's the name of the game with coaster enthusiasts like myself.
Currently, Tiki has 67 credits. Right?
Correctamundo. That's what I started
I shouldn't say currently.
No, you shouldn't say currently, right?
I just now realized
I didn't manage to get on a single coaster this trip.
Okay, so let me frame it properly here. Okay, so before the trip, BT, if you will, BT. Yeah. Tiki had ridden 67 coasters. He's gotten 67 credits, more accurately. Correct. In this trip, basically for the sake of kind of our little remembrance here, basically Tiki estimated a possibility of getting 20 credits to his name. He has the possibility of getting 20. If he gets 20, that puts him at his goal. Wait a minute. Yeah, puts you at your...
I have two leeways, Dragon. My goal is 85, but I need 18 to get to 85.
The thing is, I just realized, wait a minute, those numbers don't add up.
No. The thing is, I gave myself a little bit of breathing room with my goal, because I wanted to get my goal to a nice round number with 85.
Right. Point being, there's a goal of 85 at play here, so Tiki's tried as hard as he might to get to 85. Did he make it? I don't know. You don't know. We're going to find out. And basically, so that's kind of the week's excursion. That's kind of the grand plan. That's kind of like the mole we got. That's the mole, if you will. We got to get out of here. We got to get the Exodus. We got to get kind of the deliverance at play here. So Tiki's grand scheme is getting to 85 from 67. He's got at least 20, I guess 22 opportunities to get there.
No. 18 to get to 20, and then a grand total of 20 coasters total that I could possibly get on.
All right. Anyway, so then, of course, we have the day of it all. So we've gone over the week, then you have the day excursion. The day excursion is what you folks are here for today. So we're going to see if Tiki got to the two big, kind of the big prizes of the day here, the Dunkirk little ships of it all, man. The moral of the story. Did he get to Runaway Railway and Rise of the Resistance? The two big, kind of like big poster destinations, the big, like it's kind of, did he get to Wally World, so to speak? Did he get there? Did he punch the moose in the face? That's what we're asking here, folks. That's kind of the big reason
and
we're
Monkey,
all here.
No spoilers in that regard, for God's sake.
No spoilers.
We got Monkey in the chat, and he very much knows the answer to that.
And then we
Uh,
have the hour. And the hour is the interesting kind of the hiccups of it all. Basically, that's the big tension. That's where they have the mounting tension of the edit, if you will. The hour of it all is if you paid attention while Tiki was gone, which maybe you did, no fault, no worries there. But if you did, you'll notice Tiki put up a few vlogs and then he stopped. Now, is he lazy? Entirely possible. Probably not though. But no, there was something happened to Tiki while he was on his trip. I have no idea. I've something called a phone incident, which I have no idea what precisely happened. Apparently, something happened within the course of an hour that kind of threw the trip into chaos. The big oh god,
yeah.
are they going to get
Oh,
there?
yeah.
Are they going to get to the mall in time? Are they going to get to the mall in time? So we're going to find that out. We got a few pit stops along the way because sometimes we need bathroom breaks. Sometimes we need we need some food. Sometimes we need to restock our reserves along the kind of the draining journey set to a ticking watch. Sometimes we need breathing room. We need a wide berth, and sometimes we get three opportunities in like kind of a 3x structure. One could argue 3x structure that we're approaching non-linearly for some reason. So basically, Tiki's going to go through his trip. We're going to shake things around to keep things interesting. I have no idea what happens, so I can't promise you the editing's going to be great. Okay, somebody just hit like kind of like a random button, like okay, let's go to the day, let's go to the hour, let's go to the week because I feel like it.
Pretty much. All right.
Maybe if you
Dragon, go ahead. Sorry.
If you, I'll open to you. I'll even open up to you folks. If you folks feel like I want to get to the week, I want to get to the day, I want to get to the hour, I want to know what happens, we might do that.
Interactive
in your
experience.
hands. Yes, yeah. Interactive. You guys are going on the ride with us.
Oh God.
Not with him because he already went.
Dragon, in all seriousness, though, we should address the big corona of it all because today, man, this is a weird day to be doing an Orlando trip report. It really is. So, of course, folks, the big news, and honestly, Dragon, I'm considering, because I know we've got stuff to do tomorrow on Skype, but I'm considering in addition to that stuff, I don't know, man, I can't make any promises, but this is like podcast worthy. The fact that pretty much all the Disney resorts and the Universal resorts around the world are closed down. And Dragon, it's almost kind of like I could have been on the plane on 9/11. It's like I left Florida like 2 days before this crap went down. I'm almost kind of shaking because of that. It's crazy. I'm not saying I would have been quarantined there or anything, but still, it's I left like just before the shit started to hit the fan. So yeah, so Claude, I absolutely know about the Disney World and Disneyland closing, and it's crazy. That's all I can say. And I don't want to get too deep into Corona because that's like my channel has always been built on kind of like escaping reality and talking about fun stuff, and so I don't like to talk about politics or anything like that. So, but I do want to say that yeah, it is very shocking and just pretty damn crazy. Dragon, do you have any thoughts on that?
I mean, I'm honestly, this whole situation, this virus situation. By the way, we never really worry about this sort of thing, but apparently, there's also like a climate. There's not only just a climate of fear that's already existing right now. But there's also like apparently, our kind of our patron of entertainment, YouTube, is demonetizing folks who name the thing we're talking about. But again, it doesn't really apply to us, so it's fine. We can mention all we want. Just a little odd warning for the folks out there. Apparently, people get demonetized if they mention the thing it's actually happening.
That is incredibly odd. I know. Could make a whole podcast out of that.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I know you didn't know about this. That's kind of why I wanted to mention it, but it's kind of it's trippy, right? Because again, people are dying from this, and that's kind of like why would we hide this? But anyway,
yeah, that's weird.
Point being, of course, I'm more worried about certain kind of really beloved figures right now who are kind of we're getting kind of in advancing years.
Oh, God.
I did hear a little bit of good news. I don't know how true it is. I heard some good news that apparently the people, the younger they are, I suppose the stronger the immune systems are going to be a little safer.
That's true.
Which is good. The kids are safe, man. That's really good. Assuming that's the case. Assuming basically, it sounds like it might be a little bit
they're
more
at lower risk, Dragon.
At lower risk,
they're safe.
That's the better way of putting it. Point being, lower risk might be more of like kind of a strong flu for the younger generation. But again, where the flu's already an epidemic, it's going to kind of like times 10 for the older crowd.
Sure.
Point being, it's very scary stuff, very scary times. Everything's closing, everything's getting pushed back. I'm terrified. And there's the first world concerns of certain things are getting pushed back, like Falcon Winter Soldier got a little delay. But again, the more serious concerns, But
In my situation, A Quiet Place 2 got delayed, and I got to admit, I'm a little bit bummed about that. But
I know Falcon Winter Soldier is mostly in the can, though, so I don't know how much that's going to push it back. But again,
yeah.
more beloved figures' lives at stake here. That's what I'm more concerned about in that regard. I mean, I don't care if a James Bond movie's been pushed back to November. I mean, was I about to get my tickets? Sure, but it's been pushed to November? No sweat off my back, really. Anyway.
Yeah. All right, so we got people in the comments here. Of course, Claude Coringa was the person who brought up the Corona thing, and Pink Pearl. Happy to see you on here, man. I've been hearing about you. I've been following you on Twitter, and I gotta say, I'm just I'm hoping, I'm pulling for the best for you, man. I really am. I don't want to get too personal into it, but yeah, she's been going through some hard times herself, especially with the Corona stuff. No, I don't want to get to it. It's mostly her family's having trouble, preparing for the Corona stuff. So, Pink Pearl, you're in my wishes. I hope you guys the best of luck with all this craziness going on out there. Anyways, all right. So, Dragon, wow. I think that's everyone. Monkey's in the chat too. Let's get started, Dragon. Where do you want to start? I'm excited.
Well, we got to start with the week. We got to start with by setting the stage. Like, did he get the 300 cups of coffee, so to speak? Did he? Okay, so let's start there. Okay, so the week excursion. These are the coaster credits. So where do you start?
Okay, Dragon. So the coaster credits, we're going to start on the day after I arrived. We're going to start at Universal Orlando. Going to do coaster credit number 68, which is going to be Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket. Ding! All right, so Dragon, Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket. This is the big tall coaster that you see at Universal Orlando. The straight up lift hill. The middle left.
Yeah,
middle left on the thumbnail.
Yeah,
Dragon, I gotta say that lift hill, that straight up lift hill. Honestly, one of the most terrifying things I've ever experienced. I've experienced something similar with Hang Time at Knott's Berry Farm, but for some reason, these straight up lift hills just really get me. I mean, I've always said that the straight up lift hill on Hang Time is the most intense part of that ride. I can handle the straight down part just fine, but that lift hill is just no bueno. But this is really fun. I like the fact that you can choose your own music, Dragon, and I think you're going to enjoy what song I picked. I picked "Harder, Faster, Better, Stronger" by Daft Punk.
Hey, nice.
Yeah.
So catchy.
Yeah, so that was really cool. The ride's a bit bumpy, but I honestly didn't think it was that bad. I mean, compared to like a Vekoma SLC or something like that, it's fine in my opinion. So yeah, it's I thought it was a pretty good time. All right, number 69 though, big one, Revenge of the Mummy.
Gotta get our phrase on, man.
Oh yeah, the phrase. God. So Revenge of the Mummy. This is a really big ride at Universal Orlando. It's much better than the version in Hollywood. Basically, the setup for this one is that you're on a movie set. That's actually, they're filming in an Egyptian temple. They're filming a Mummy sequel, right? And you see Brendan Fraser in the line. And the whole point is like Imhotep has been awakened because they're filming this stupid Mummy sequel on the set. And that's literally the plot of the ride, Dragon.
That is genius. It really is. I gotta be honest. A part of me has always wanted to go on this ride, but by the same, I'm not a coaster guy. So
Dragon, you should. I totally think you could handle it, honestly. It doesn't go upside down. It launches a couple times, but the launches aren't too intense. I think you can handle it. I think you'd have a fun time on it.
Already, honestly. I'll tell you what the premise of this reminds me of. It reminds me of a really funny joke from Looney Tunes Back in Action. Which I rewatched, by the way, while you were gone, just to kill some time on Netflix. The gag with Brendan Fraser, basically his character, a DJ in the movie, Damian Drake Jr. Basically, he has this line like he's a stuntman, and he used to be a stuntman for Brendan Fraser in those Mummy movies, but basically got fired because Brendan Fraser's a jerk, and basically meets himself in the movie. It's hysterical. It's just oh god, it's really funny. Anyway.
All right. So honestly, Dragon, I don't want to spoil too many of the effects in the Mummy ride, but suffice to say, I've been on the one in Hollywood, and oh my god, it's like night and day. I mean, I honestly think the one in Hollywood isn't too bad for what it is. When I went on it, without knowing what this one was like, I was pretty damn impressed by it. I was, because it's got a cool dark ride section. It's got a moment where these animatronics kind of jump down from the ceiling. It's got a really cool kind of like backward section to it. But then the one in Orlando, oh boy, wow, yeah, yeah. Oh god, like I said, Dragon, I don't want to spoil too much of it for people who have not been on it, but there's just so much more going on here. It's just night and day. All right. So, number 70, Dragon. Big one. Big one. We ended up waiting about 50 minutes for this one, which is not bad considering people waited about 10 hours in line opening day for it, which was, less than a year ago. We did Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure. This is, of course, the brand new ride in Universal's Harry Potter Land, or the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. Dragon, I will say, this thing lives up to the hype. It really does. Even if you're not a Potter fan, I think it's a very enjoyable ride. My grandma loved it, even though she knows absolutely nothing about Harry Potter. She was smiling ear to ear on the thing. It's a damn good coaster too. And what I love about the coaster is it's a coaster that anyone can ride, but it still has a lot of thrilling elements to it and a lot of really cool elements that really throw you off. And the speed is great, but never too overwhelming. Yeah, just overall a very good ride. Right. Should I keep going?
I'll tell you when.
Okay. All right, let me pull up my list here then, because that's all I can remember off the top of my head.
Even have the
all right. Oh yeah, and then Dragon, what do you have on your list with Universal Orlando? I want to see you go down kind of some of these things because you have the list in front of you too.
Yeah, yes, I do. Okay, flight of
Flight of the hip. I just want you to try and pronounce this word.
Hippogriff.
Hippogriff. You got it.
Hippogriff. Okay.
You got it. Hippogriff. Flight of the Hippogriff. Yeah, we got on this. This isn't one that I expected to get on, but indeed, number 71 is Flight of the Hippogriff. Dragon, the thing about this is that it's usually got like a half-hour wait, and it's not worth it at all. Have you been on the Barnstormer at Magic Kingdom, the Goofy coaster?
I think it's the small one, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think I have.
Then you've literally been on Flight of the Hippogriff.
Oh,
I mean, not literally, but you've been on the exact same model.
Gotcha.
The exact same layout. So this is what I'm talking about when it comes to coaster credits, Dragon. There's there's just a lot of coaster credits that one can get that are literally this exact same model. And the thing is, we happened to walk up when there was no line, and that was very lucky because I was checking the app like for about a month before the trip, and the app tells you wait times live. And I swear to God, each time I checked it, it was like 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and I was like, I am not waiting that long for Barnstormer, But I will say the coaster is up on the hill, and it's got a very nice setting to it. I think I enjoy it a lot more than I enjoy Barnstormer. Just if I had to pick one or the other to get rid of, I definitely keep this one. I think it fits really nicely into its location. I like the fact that unlike the version at Hollywood, you can't see the Buck Pink animatronic until you're actually on the ride. That's a nice touch. And yeah, that's about it.
All right, take us through the events of the day. Build it up, man. Again, so it's the big day where you have Runaway Railway and Rise of the Resistance in your sights. Like, take us through the start of the day, man. What's the game plan?
Okay, the game plan is to get to the park by 5 o'clock at the very earliest, 5 a.m. And so I wake up at like 3:45, take a shower. I'm at the door by 4 o'clock. Monkey, correct me if I'm wrong. I believe I arrive at your hotel about 4:15, right? Somewhere around there. And then I believe we get to the park a little after 4:30 in the morning, Dragon. 4:30 a.m. We are crazy people. Crazy people.
Oh, I know that. I'm well aware. I got the memo.
Oh God. So yeah. There were about maybe Monkey, what would you say? Maybe like 50 people there waiting already. But suffice to say, we were able to get right up there. We were waiting at security for I don't know, maybe about 20 minutes or so. 5 a.m.
God, gotta love that show. Recess for the kids out there. It's on Disney Plus, and now you can watch it. Now I don't have to just say the kids. Now they can actually watch it anyway.
Okay, so Dragon, we're sitting there, and I'm looking at all the people. I'm like, Adam the Woo. Yes, I saw Adam the Woo live in person. I did speak to him, but I saw him. He was there. He was definitely standing right there. Misminster's Runaway Railway. So Adam the Woo, the WDW couple was right behind us, and Roy Meets World was right next to us. And Dragon, if you look up the Roy Meets World vlog in particular for Runaway Railway, he was doing a lot of takes, a lot of different different kind of talking to the camera bits, waiting in line. He was like showing off the map. He was telling people about the merchandise. And I was like standing right there. So if you watch his video, we might be in the background somewhere. But I tell you one thing, Dragon, everyone there was pretty much like a big YouTuber and they all knew each other. And I felt so goddamn small in that circle. I was a small fish. I was a small fish, Dragon.
All right, so take us through. Okay, let's go shift to the hour a little bit here.
Okay.
We're going to set up the hour. So, Tiki, you see this man making his videos and everything. Does that give you a light bulb through the trip? Like, walk him through. Let's just walk through the genesis of the vlog.
The genesis of the vlog. All right. Well, so the vlog stuff was kind of tricky in general for the trip because I didn't have a lot of storage space on my camera. And so my goal was to do at least one take vlog per day. And you could see I was doing that. I was doing, I did the vlog for Universal Orlando where Monkey and I talked about the what is it? The Poseidon ride. Oh, shoot, Monkey, help me out here. Why am I blanking on it?
Poseidon Adventure?
No, not the Poseidon
Seuss Landing?
Adventure. It's near Seuss Landing, but no. Oh God, Monkey, help me out. What am I? What's the name of that ride? Poseidon's Fury. Poseidon's Fury. It's not a ride. It's a show. It's a show. Dragon, that is a really cool show, by the way. Yes, thank you, Monkey. So we did the vlog on Poseidon's Fury, which in my opinion is the most underrated attraction in Universal Orlando. Dragon, have you done that one?
I've walked past it. I've seen a little bit of the show, like just in passing, but I haven't been.
It's really cool, Dragon. It's oh man. I was very impressed with it. I really was. There's one moment in particular that got a huge gasp out of me.
What's the sell? What is it? What's the show?
Okay, basically the show is that you're going into Poseidon's temple. That's the outside, is Poseidon's temple. And, it's pretty much the same thing that goes down in Revenge of the Mummy, where Poseidon gets pissed that you're there, and then you have to kind of go through a bunch of challenges.
Gotcha.
And it's really cool. It's all walkthrough. Monkey would sell it as kind of like, it's almost like an attraction length version of the Haunted Mansion pre-show. And I would say, yeah. But there's one moment in particular, this last room. I don't want to get too deep into it. Maybe Monkey and I can talk about it at some point. But, Poseidon is our savior. The villain is Lord Darkanon. Yeah, which is a really lame name. But, yeah, really cool ride. Anyway, second day, I did a vlog on SeaWorld's Sesame Street Land. Dragon, did you see that one by any chance?
I did see that one.
Does it not look very cool?
It looks very nice. It looks very quaint.
Yeah,
It looks very cozy.
it's very quaint. Yeah, yeah. And Dragon, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's the last vlog we did, right?
Yes, which got a lot of attention.
Yeah, yeah. So,
Okay, so the point being, you're doing your vlogs, you're making some good track with it, and then
right.
something goes wrong. Am I correct?
Yes,
Okay,
something goes
now
wrong.
I want you to frame this for me. At what hour do things go wrong? To quote Cobra Bubbles, when do things go wrong?
At what hour?
Yeah, at what hour? Because all this takes place within an hour. Like what hour? Like within the whole trip? When does this hour occur?
Okay, the hour occurs on Saturday about 3 o'clock.
Okay, and with that,
Yeah.
we're gonna go back to the day. Now, I want you to kind of like frame up the day here yet again. So, you're lined up in front of you're ready to go into Runaway Railway. Am I correct?
Yes, yes. I'm at security. I'm feeling like a really small fish in front of all these big YouTubers.
Mm-hmm.
And the security opens. The security opens. We run, mad dash, and Dragon, Monkey, and I somehow end up getting at the very front of one of the turnstiles. So you can imagine that's going to make getting on Runaway Railway a lot easier.
Yes, and with that, we're going back to the week.
Okay, okay.
Okay,
Dragon,
we're on
can
to
I
the
add
week. We're
something
at it.
cryptic? Can
Sure,
I add something
add
cryptic?
something cryptic, please. Yes.
Okay. So you would think that getting to the front of the turnstiles would make getting on Runaway Railway a cinch. Or so we thought.
Yes, Killian Murphy appears. Now we're going back to the week.
Monkey, what went wrong with the vlog for Hollywood Studios is that it cut out early. And so that's why I never posted it. That was unfortunate. That wasn't me being lazy. It was just an unfortunate error on my part. Okay, now we go back to the week, Dragon.
Yes, now if I'm correct, we're at a Universal entirely, right?
Correct.
Okay, where are we going next?
We're going to SeaWorld. So can you get your list out?
Yes. Well, I already have it out, Tiki, so yeah.
Well, I mean, go to the SeaWorld section.
Yes. Let's see, Mako? Or is it Mako or Mako? Because now we're getting to the whole Avatar of it all right now.
All right, it's Mako.
Ah, it is Mako in this case. All right, Mako.
All right, you know what? You know what? Forget about you doing the list because I just realized that I'm the one. I know the order, so.
Yeah, well, thanks for that. I literally put in the order. Okay, go on.
Sorry. All right, so Dragon, we were at number 71. So 72 is going to be Manta, actually. Now, Manta is a flying coaster, Dragon, and I have been on a flying coaster at Six Flags Magic Mountain. That was at one time my number one coaster that I've ever been on. That coaster is Tatsu. Now, flying coasters, Dragon, what they entail is you sit down like you're on an inverted coaster. So you've got your legs dangling, you got the restraints over your shoulders and everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then before the ride leaves the station, you actually get raised into a Superman style flying position below the track. And you go through all these graceful dives and inversions doing that. And Dragon, I love it. It's one of my favorite styles of coaster. And Manta is a really good ride. But what I love about Tatsu, so here's the thing with flying coasters, is that they have these things called pretzel rolls. And Dragon, this is the most intense part of a flying coaster because essentially what a pretzel roll does is it lays you upside down on your stomach, and you can imagine the G-forces on that. And so the G-forces, it is honestly one of the most intense elements that you can have on a coaster is a flying coaster pretzel roll. So Dragon, the pretzel roll on Tatsu is probably the most intense element I've ever experienced on a coaster. But what I love about it is that it comes right at the end of the ride. It's like this ultimate finale to a ride that in general is honestly pretty graceful and smooth and peaceful. And then at the very end, you get this face melting element, and it's a really memorable end to it. With Manta, the pretzel roll comes right at the start. It comes right after the first drop. Now, this is both a pro and a con. It's a pro because you take it at a lot higher speed, and that makes the intensity even bigger. But I think it's a con just because I really love the way that that Tatsu builds up to its pretzel roll. So that's all I'll say about that. All right, Dragon. Next, we're going to go to Journey to Atlantis. Now, this is almost not a coaster because it's more in line with something like Pirates of the Caribbean than it is a typical coaster.
Sounds like a very Aquaman themed theme park, by the way. Go from the Manta to Atlantis. I'm sorry.
Right. Now, Journey to Atlantis, it's got a really, really great opening section where you're actually going through the city of Atlantis. And there's this really cool section where a bunch of water jets kind of follow your boat through like 2 or 3 rooms. And there's like maybe about, in they're like jumping over the water, over the track. Oh man, it's a really cool moment. This is honestly probably like the best ride in Busch Gardens, which they're both owned by the same company. Just in terms of actually being a ride, actually being like a solid attraction from beginning to end. The coaster part only comes at the very end. It's got a pretty standard, if you've ever been on the Jurassic Park ride at Universal, it's got a pretty standard drop like that. But then at the end, it's got a coaster drop to it. And that's the only reason why the ride's even considered a coaster is because of that little coaster track. It's got kind of like a water coaster. The whole thing is technically a water coaster. So yeah. But really good coaster. And then I did Kraken. Not much to say about this ride.
Except send it in!
It's a B&M floorless coaster, and honestly, a lot of B&M floorless coasters have very, very similar layouts. They start with 150-foot drops. They have 120-foot vertical loops. Then you do a dive loop. Then you do a 0G roll. Then you do a Cobra roll. Then there's the block breaks. Then you do a couple of corkscrews. And that's it. I've been on like at least 3 or 4 rides that are exactly like this. The best one that I've been on is at my home park of Six Flags Discovery Kingdom with the Medusa coaster. So this one was good. It was pretty solid. It's got a good layout to it. It's got a good color scheme. It's got a good setting. The one thing I like about the layout that is different from Medusa, because other than this, it's pretty much the same ride as Medusa, is after the block breaks, instead of a corkscrew, you get another smaller vertical loop. So that was different. That was a little twist. Other than that, it's fine. And then Dragon. Then, number 75, we get to Mako. And I intentionally held off on this one to be my 75th. This was the last coaster credit I got in the park. And Mako is a 200-foot tall hypercoaster, B&M hypercoaster. And Dragon, I will say that when I rode this in the back, I was a little bit underwhelmed by the airtime. Then I rode it in the front. Holy crap, the front. Dragon, this ride gave me a new appreciation for front seat rides on coasters. Before, I was all about the intensity of going down drops at the back of the train. Now I am all about the airtime on the front of coasters, man. Oh, so much glorious airtime on this thing. This is the best airtime machine I've ever ridden. You can tell I'm kind of glowing about this one. This might have been the best coaster of the whole trip. Dragon, I even got my grandma on this thing at 200 feet tall.
Ah. Well, she's a braver woman than I.
All right. So Claude Coringa is requesting that we list the guest stars in season 3 of DuckTales. So let's go ahead and do that.
I was gonna jazz it up a little bit, but
I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, Tiki, it's time. You know what, Tiki? We should take a break, and while we're taking a break, we should have a word from the real sponsors, if you will, from Claude Coringa. Here, we're gonna cover all the news that happened while you're going, because every time 2 things happen whenever you go on a trip, Tiki, or often when you go on a trip. Either really bad stuff happens in the world. I'll direct people to 2017.
Jesus Christ, you're right.
I'll direct people to 2017 with all the things that happened then. And now this, apparently global pandemics, that's that next step.
I
But
really should stop going on trips.
on the brighter side of things, though, news happens. We had copious amounts of news, and Claude Coringa has been so generous enough to kind of list out a lot of amazing guest stars who are going to be on season 3 of DuckTales. And let's read them off, man. We got oh my god, such a glorious thing. This is all news to me. I have
It
no idea.
really is. This is a lot of people, man.
I haven't seen a star-studded cast like this since the Harley Quinn cast was announced. And oh my goodness! And speaking of Harley Quinn cast, look who's first on the bill: Giancarlo Esposito, Gus Fring from Breaking Bad, and Better Call Saul from the Albuquerque verse, folks. Good old Giancarlo is going to be there.
All right, Selma Blair from Hellboy. We've got Christopher Hughes from Game of Thrones. I'm sorry, I'm not a Game of Thrones
I got
fan.
Bub Kiss, but I'm sure people are going to be excited for him. Then we have, here's a real star, BB Newworth, man. We have Lilith from Cheers. Oh, Retta. Oh, my God. I tell you, I've been watching the new season of Good Girls, and Retta, oh, my God, I love Retta from Parks and Rec and Good Girls. She's tremendous, man. She's going to be in it, too. She's great. Then it just keeps getting better.
Is she like an Oprah? Is she like a one-name person?
I get, yeah, that's kind of, she's always billed as just
Retta.
Yeah, essentially, yeah, it's essentially, yeah. But anyways, seriously, Retta's really good, man. I keep telling you to watch Good Girls, kind of like the Breaking Bad for moms. Really good stuff there. It gets even better from Retta, man. How can it get any better than Retta? I'll tell you how. Stephanie Beatrix, man. Stephanie Beatrix.
You love this woman, Dragon. I know you do.
Oh my goodness, she's gold. She's pure gold on Brooklyn Nine-Nine. She has great voice work. Of course, BoJack's, BoJack seasons 5 and a little bit of 6, a little tiny piece of 6. But again, Gina from BoJack Horseman again that had a small role in Pee-wee's Big Holiday, which is great. Point being, I can't get enough of this one. She's kind of in. There's the rumors about her potentially being She-Hulk. I don't think it's going to pan out, but I'd watch that show even more. I'm already going to watch it if Stephanie Beatrice is involved. Okay, but you take us through the rest of these.
Sure. We have Jaylee White from Family from Family Matters. Sorry. The incomparable Doug Jones from Hellboy.
Yes, Doug Jones.
Wow, that was a big reaction, Dragon. Wow.
We love Doug Jones here.
You know Doug Jones has been on Podcast The Ride several times, right?
I'm aware of this fact, yes.
Right.
Shape of Water, Abe Sapien, played the Silver Surfer, the real Silver Surfer.
All right, we have Clancy Brown.
Always fantastic.
We have James Marsters from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Hugh Bonneville from Downton Abbey,
and Galvin, the Pirate King.
Yeah. Let's see, Abby Ryder Forston.
Got Bupkis.
Yeah, same here. Tress MacNeille, of course, very famous voice actress. I thought she was somewhat retired.
I know she's. I guess she's still in the game. She stopped. I don't know. I can't really recall when she stopped doing voices. So I guess maybe there's like a semi-retirement thing in there. I don't know. Point being, it might be a big fan. Oh my God, Tress MacNeille's back. Dot from Animaniacs is back, folks, and we have of course the monolithic Bill Farmer.
Oh yeah. And then James Monroe Englehart from Hamilton, big one.
For the kids.
And then Adam Pally from Sonic the Hedgehog. All right.
Woo. Okay. So, again, Tiki, are you hungry?
Yes, I am.
Let's take a little pit stop along the way of our long, arduous journey, man. Let's get some lunch. What did you do for lunch?
But Jim, it's lunch.
Precisely my thought there.
All right. So I'm gonna tell you, Dragon, lunch. I'm going to introduce you to a place called the Cowfish.
I'm sorry, the Cowfish?
Dragon, this is a place, the Cowfish. The Cowfish. The Cowfish, the Cowfish, the Cowfish.
Like moo, right? Like cowfish.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Cowfish. Take me through it.
Dragon, this place is like the closest thing that I have ever been to if Big Hero 6 had a theme park place, all right? This is a sushi burger bar.
Okay.
A sushi burger bar.
No, I'm basking in the shock and awe right now. Keep going.
So, Dragon, what I ate was a cheeseburger roll. A cheeseburger roll is, drumroll please, Okay, instead of rice, you have hash browns. And then in the middle, you've got your, your Angus beef. You got your ketchup and mustard. You've got your cheese. You got a little bit of pickle, and boom, that's a sushi roll. And it was delicious.
Where's Fred from Big Hero 6 when you need him for these mealtime excursions? That's my question. Like, this is like a noodle burger boy written
Dragon,
all
the whole
over
place,
right now.
look it up. Look it up. The whole place is just, it's soaked in Big Hero 6, all right? It's soaked in Big Hero 6. The whole place feels so Big Hero 6, it's not even funny. I am shocked that it is not in a San Francisco land, all right?
With
All
our
right.
coining of Big Hero 6, we should also mention Claude Coringa says that James Monroe Englehart should play the genie that came from the DuckTales movie. So we'll kind of pull from the DuckTales movie.
Oh, that'd be a twist. All right. So, Dragon, that's it for the first excursion. Where you want to go next?
All right. Just because I'm sure people are frothing at the mouth for it. Okay, like Bill, take us through like Runaway Railway, man. So we're at the turnstile, man. So the turnstile, you think, yay us! What happens?
So the people come around to check our tickets, Dragon.
Yes.
And they tell me there's nothing on this ticket. You've got to go to guest relations.
Oh no. Okay, so this is again. So you crack at dawn. You're there. You're standing there. You're intimidated by the bigwigs around you. Like things are going too right for you. You go up there. They tell you, we got a problem with these tickets, man. You got like you have prime real estate right now in terms of your line weightage. Am I correct?
Exactly. Prime
so you're going to sacrifice your prime real estate, right?
Like it's pretty much front row, middle turnstile, Dragon.
Folks, I know a little something about lines myself. I've been in many of them through my excursions, through my own excursions to conventions. So this is a big deal, folks. He's lost the real estate. He's got to go get the ticket checked.
All right, I think we should cut there.
I know. I think you're right. But you know what, Tiki? You know what's worse than something going wrong?
Oh, God. What?
More stuff going wrong. So let's go back to the hour.
All right, I'm going to set up the location of where things went wrong, Dragon.
Where did things go wrong?
All right, things went wrong at Discovery Cove. Now, Discovery Cove is this water park that SeaWorld owns, but it's really more of a day spa, Dragon. Now, check this out. It's an all-inclusive resort. It's a day resort, essentially, where you get breakfast and lunch for free, or included in, not for free, but included in the price of admission. You get all you can drink. There's snacks, all you can eat snacks. There's a ton of animals out there. There's a ton of birds. There's a ton of there's a big aviary, probably the best aviary I've ever been in. But most importantly, Dragon, the big draw. There's a big lazy river, and there's a big scuba diving reef. That's where things go wrong. Not the lazy river or the scuba diving reef, but just in general, we're gonna see something happen that I'm not proud of within Discovery Cove about 3 o'clock within the middle of the day. All right,
back to the week. But before we do that, just Claude Coringa here mentioned our girl here, Stephanie Beatrice, saying looks like she's going to voice Gosling. Now again, remind me, I'm a little fuzzy here. Gosling from Darkwing Duck. Am I correct? Or
yeah, his daughter. Yeah.
Many Duck characters, folks. I want to make sure I got the right franchise here. But yes, she is. I think that's perfect casting as well for her. I know she can bring the energy of that role. Anyway, yeah. So back to our regular scheduled program with the week, man. We're on to the week, and then we're wrapped up on SeaWorld. Am I correct, or at least for this?
Yeah, we're wrapped up on SeaWorld. Yeah.
Okay, where are we going next?
We're going to go to Fun Spot Kissimmee.
Kissimmee. Okay.
All right, Dragon. It doesn't really matter the order here, so I'm just going to go ahead and let you list these off.
All right, Galaxy Spin. Did we go to it? Did we find the time in the day?
Yes, I found the time and day to do Galaxy Spin, yes.
Did you know?
Oh, God, it's not that big of a deal. This is honestly one of the least substantial credits I got the whole trip. This is like an off-the-shelf spinning coaster. I believe it's a mock spinning coaster, though. And, I don't know. I take that back. It's not mock. It's not mock. No, definitely not mock, because mock is like the premier coaster manufacturer for spinning coasters. Dragon, what excites me about this one, though, is that my home park at Six Flags Discovery Kingdom is getting this exact same model next year, or this year, I should say. And, Dragon, holy crap, this thing really spins. And I've been hearing hype about this model for the spinning. I was looking forward to trying this out for that, to see how I would, to see what the reaction would be, how it would stack up in my home park. Dragon, not only am I really excited that my home park is going to get a coaster that's kind of towards the back of the park, and that part of the park really needs other attractions, because the only thing back there is like a Vekoma Boomerang and a Scrambler. But man, I gotta tell you, when I was getting off of this ride, the world was spinning. I have never been on a more intense spinning coaster, just in terms of the spinning itself. It was great. So I'm really looking forward to this model of coaster coming to my home park. I'm pretty excited about that. All right, what do you got next?
Take me through the Hurricane Man.
That is the first one that I did not get on.
Okay, well, tell me this, man. Was your mind blown on the Mind Blower?
Well, hold on. Let me tell you why I didn't do Hurricane.
Okay. Well, I thought that was kind of like that. Well, I didn't go on it. Okay, moving on. No, tell us what went wrong with Hurricane. Go on.
Okay, so I couldn't find it.
Yeah, really? You couldn't find it?
The weird thing about this park is that this park is attached to a part of Kissimmee, Florida called Old Town. And Old Town is essentially this really, really tacky and dingy strip mall that's kind of themed to like Old Town, Florida. Like kind of like, it's got like the southern kind of mansions and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Kind of like Key West architecture, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Dragon, the signs say Old Town is actually pretty damn big. And the sign said that Hurricane was on the opposite side of Old Town from the rest of Fun Spot Kissimmee. Now, Dragon, the thing about this is that Old Town is just so seedy and unsavory, and I really didn't like being in there at all, that I decided to just skip this credit. It wasn't worth trying to find, especially when I wasn't even sure exactly where it was. So yeah, that's the deal with Old Town. Or that's the deal with Hurricane, I should say.
Yes. Okay. Hurricane. Lost to the ages. It's a false ride, man. It's like built in there to trip people up, just build up some false hope going on there. So, Mind Blower, did it salvage kind of the hole within your agenda for Kissimmee?
Mind Blower was a fun ride. It was very photogenic. It's rough, man. It's real rough. But once again, much like Mako, I did find that the front row rides were a lot better. The front row rides had a lot more airtime to them. But still, Dragon, this thing is so rough that you can't really marathon it all that much. And so for that reason, Fun Spot Kissimmee is easily the worst park I went to on the trip. I wasn't too impressed with this place.
Speaking of rough road and rough ridage, let's go back to the day.
God.
Right, so that long walk back to the help the help desk, or like what's it called? Guest services.
Guest relations.
To guest relations. Nowhere close on that. To guest relations.
Yes. Dragon, to be fair, it wasn't that long. It was like right across the way, and Monkey saved my spot in line, so
well, there goes the dramatic tension.
I will say that, Dragon... I will say that there are red shirts involved in this situation. They are very... No, listen to me, though. They are very, very, very helpful red shirts. They might deliver bad news, but they are very helpful and nice, and you want to see the red shirts. You want to be helped by the red shirts in this situation.
I see.
So, I know that sounds like a foreign concept to you.
Of course, to the kids out there who may not know what the heck we're talking about red shirts. See, back in the day when Star Trek was it's a new thing, we red shirts meant people are going to be killed. But Tiki and I repurposed this term for kind of unhelpful kind of helper people at kind of parks and conventions. I coined it, where basically the helper people every year at the Comic Con, they wore a uniform colored shirt, as in like the year where they were most unhelpful, they were wearing red shirts, and there was complete light. They ranged from knowing what they were talking about to usually more often not having knowing idea. Everyone's on a different in their own little worlds. Like, we know this, we don't know that. I can't help you. Go to the sketch shirt guys. They're not going to help you at all either. Point being, red shirts, you traditionally unhelpful. Tiki's case, kind and helpful.
Yeah. So in guest relations, it actually went very smoothly, Dragon. I told him like, hey, this isn't loaded up, and he said, oh, that's because you used a different email to pay for it. Here, let me switch your email over. Da 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 da. There, now it should be on this card. Take this card, you should be good. Dragon, I give the card to the red shirt. The red shirt gives me the worst news.
Oh no.
She says, there's still nothing on here.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Tiki, this is all too much for me to handle right now. I need to take a pit stop, man. I gotta find the little boys room. While I'm doing that, you tell me and tell the folks on the intercom what happened at the pit stop, man. We need to someone break out the happy snacks.
Oh well, that's a very good phrase, because this was the snack of the meal, Dragon. Last time I had lunch. Next time I'm gonna have dinner, but let's have a snack. All right, let's have a snack, and the snack is going to be at Gatorland. Again, Gatorland is a very historic theme park. It's been open since 1951. It's older than Disneyland. As you can imagine, it's got gators, and a lot of gators and not a lot else, but it's got such a down-home charm to it. I loved it to death. It honestly might have been my favorite park that I went to the whole trip. I would love to go back and spend the whole day there. I didn't really feel like I got enough time there because we were splitting it up with the third pit stop that we'll go to. But Dragon, while I'm at Gatorland, what food do you think I needed to get?
I'm gonna guess something gator related.
I got some gator bites.
Did you wash it down with some Gatorade?
No, but they were heavily advertising the Gatorade.
Did they have like green Gatorade, or was it just like the solid? Like,
I don't know. I'm not a Gatorade guy. I wasn't really paying attention, but
alligator.
So yeah, the gator bites were absolutely delicious, and I want to try like a real alligator dish now because yeah, the gator bites, I would say they taste like chicken, but they've got their own texture to them, and they've got their own seasoning to them, and they've got their own spice to them. Man, I was a big fan. I would order them again in a heartbeat. All right, that's about it.
Back to the main narrative. Let's go back to the week.
Okay. So we're going to go to Fun Spot Orlando, Dragon. Fun Spot Orlando. And correct me if I'm wrong, Dragon. You're a roller coaster tycoon guy, right?
Me, not so much.
Oh, okay. So Fun Spot Orlando. Fun Spot Kissimmee was just like being kind of like in a weird rundown carnival next to a strip mall. Fun Spot Orlando was like being in a really well-run, really clean, really well-maintained roller coaster tycoon theme park. I really like Fun Spot Orlando. I wish I could have gone back to it once or twice more than I did. I was having a hard time getting to it, but when I did, I was really impressed with it. I really loved the aesthetic. I loved the vibe of it. And so, Dragon, let's go down the list.
Well, let's see. While you were gone, Black Lightning had its season finale. So, White Lightning, how was it?
Yes, I got on White Lightning. When I got there, it didn't look like it was going to open, but it did open about an hour later, so thank God. Dragon, here's one thing I regret, though. I went around about 4 times, and I was like, this is good, but it doesn't have the airtime that I was expecting it to have. Dragon, what was I thinking? Why did I not go on it near the front row? what like I learned this lesson twice over with Mako and with Mind Blower that clearly with airtime machines, the front rows are going to be the better way to go. So what was I thinking, Dragon? I asked you. Why did I not go on it again in the front row? That was just dumb of me.
Not very
It was
smart.
a missed opportunity.
Kind of a dope.
Yeah. Right?
Right. Freedom Flyer.
Yeah, I got on Freedom Flyer. Yeah, Freedom Flyer.
Say that 5 times fast, folks.
Freedom Flyer is interesting. It's a new school Vekoma flying coaster, or a Vekoma. It's a Vekoma mini suspended coaster actually, and this is a coaster that reminded me most of Roller Coaster Tycoon. Now Vekomas are known for being super rough, but this one was super smooth and enjoyable and very peaceful. And I kind of hope that something like this comes to Six Flags Discovery Kingdom eventually, because it's a very nice ride. It's a very nice in-between family coaster. I liked it a lot.
Take me to the phone. Hour. Go back
All
to
right,
the
well,
hour.
hold on. That brings our total credits up to 79. So I'm getting close to my goal at this point, and we've only got one more coaster park to hit. So
That he does, folks. That he does. So, back to the hour. Back to again. Things are going well for Tiki. Let's go back to when things are not going that well for Tiki. Let's go back to the phone. Okay, so what are you doing as it goes wrong? What are you just casually going to do? Then something happens differently than it's supposed to.
okay, so I'm walking along these nature trails, and I come upon this bird.
Yeah.
And this bird very much reminds me of the bird that I used to own that unfortunately passed away about a year ago. And I'm taking pictures of it. And Dragon, this bird is the most adorable thing. And she came from an abusive home, and so she had an anxiety issue where she ripped out a bunch of her feathers. And oh my god, I fell in love with this bird, man. I really did. And so, suffice to say, Dragon, I was distracted. Suffice to say, I'm in a park with a bunch of litter. Suffice to say, I had my phone out.
Okay, just let me we'll push the pause button just real quick here. Okay, so you're telling me you're walking along a trail, right?
Uh-huh.
You see a bird that gets you nostalgic.
Yes.
Now the anxiety-ridden bird, was that your bird, or was that just like, did you know what the history of this bird
No, that was
was?
the bird. That was the bird that I saw.
So the bird that you saw, how did you know all this stuff about this bird if you're just walking along the trail?
Well, because there was a trader with him.
Oh, okay, so the trader. Okay, so I think it made it sound a little bit more like you just came across a bird while you were walking. That's what it sounded like. But okay, so the trainer.
No, there was a trainer. Trainer.
Just want to make sure. Okay, trainer, bird. Okay, nostalgia. You're getting all weepy on the inside. Like, I had a bird. It was great. I had such good times. The bird was in part me, and we shared a soul bond. And this bird is even better. My other bird, perhaps, I don't know. We could have had a life with me and this bird. Anyway, so you're getting all.
Wow.
You're getting. Anyway, so you're having a moment with this bird. So what happens?
You want me to keep going?
A little bit more. So give me a little bit more.
Okay, so then I see a sign, and I see a sign that says, "Ooh, look, I can swim down to see the otters." Keyword
Right.
Swim.
All right, that's a good place to cut off there. Okay, back. Okay, back to the week.
Okay, back to the week, really.
Yes,
because this is the last chapter I have for the week.
Well, I'm gonna splice in I'm gonna jump around a little bit in this last one. All right, so we're
okay. Okay, go ahead and list off the. I don't really care about the order here, so.
Okay, I'm in a Wonder Woman mood right now. So Cheetah Hunt.
That was actually number 80. Yes, I got there. Cheetah Hunt is such a good ride, man. This is actually the ride that made me want to go to Busch Gardens. It's kind of the ride that put Busch Gardens on the map for me. It basically is a low to the ground launch coaster that simulates you being a cheetah running along, and it does that simulation really, really well. It's got an awesome setting. It's a long ride. It's super fun. It's not too intense, but it's definitely got its moments. It's really iconic and photogenic. Loved it. Loved Cheetah Hunt.
Okay, much like a roller coaster of life, we go from the highs down to the lows, which brings us back to the day.
Okay. So, Dragon, honestly, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't even remember what happened. I don't even remember what happened with the ticket because I was in such a panic, so I don't even remember how I got it fixed. But suffice to say, I did get it fixed.
You greased some palms, did you?
I did. I did. I think I had to go up to guest services one more time. They had to make a couple calls. I believe a manager had to get called in, but somehow, some way, I got it. And Dragon, you want me to just get straight to it after that because there's not much to it after I
Well,
get
yeah,
the
because we do have
ticket?
a part two of the story, so we definitely have some room we can still go. So, yeah,
Sure,
absolutely.
sure.
So, point being, Tiki, he plays the world's smallest violin for him in some sense. The world they're making a call. Like, this kid, he just wants to ride Runaway Railway. It's all he's really here for. We can make this happen. Teamwork makes the dream work after all. Let's do it, man. Make the miracle happen. You know, you hear the elation, you hear the band playing behind him, as he's walking back to the ride triumphant with his ticket in hand. What happens?
The gates open at 7 o'clock. We get walked up to the ride. We go into the queue of the ride. Keep in mind, the park is officially open at 8 o'clock. All right, officially open
Gotcha.
at eight
Ticking
o'clock.
clock. Yes.
Yeah, and so Dragon at 7:05. We're on the ride. Da 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 da. So, Dragon, this is monumental because we ride the ride before it's open to the public officially. I rode that ride before the park opened. I am so proud of that. So, Dragon, here's the deal with Runaway Railway. If you go in expecting more than a modern day Fantasyland dark ride with a lot of cool projection mapping effects, you're going to be disappointed. I was walking in expecting a modern day Fantasyland dark ride with a lot of cool projection mapping effects, and I loved it. I really did. I think this is a great evolution of a traditional Fantasyland dark ride. I really thought the projection effects were pulled off exquisitely with the scene transitions and everything like that. There were a couple wow moments where the scene just changes entirely. The trackless effect could be a little stronger. It's certainly not Rise of the Resistance level, but yeah, I mean it's a great D ticket. And Dragon, here's the best part. Here's the best part. We pull into the station. We pull in at about 7:10, right? There's a whole group of Imagineers applauding us as we get off the ride. Applauding us for being some of the first people to ride it, applauding us for our hard work getting there that early to be in this position, applauding their hard work. I believe that Monkbach Kevin Rafferty in that crowd. And yeah, that was a moment, Dragon. That was a moment I'll never forget, is going into that station and seeing all those Imagineers applauding.
Got a tip of the
That
hat
was
from the
amazing.
raft.
Yeah, yeah. So that alone is like I'll never forget. I'll never forget that moment. I will tell my kids about that
And
moment
all
someday.
made possible by Monkey, apparently, in the comments here. As Monkey fills in the gap to our story, folks. Interactive storytelling, gentlemen. Interactive storytelling, ladies and gentlemen alike, where Monkey says,
Oh God.
I was basically saying I was also able to send him an email that allowed our passes to link. So basically, Monkey saved the day on the sly. Didn't take any credit for it until this very moment. Yay!
Well, he's talking about Rise of the Resistance boarding passes with that.
Well, there goes all my points I just made. So let's move on.
Sorry.
Point being, Runaway Railway, you got on it, had a great time, but the story's not over yet for the day. The day, of course, will lead to kind of like the big determination here. Did he
Yo,
ride
keep in mind, we don't get to try and book Rise of the Resistance boarding passes until 8 a.m. It's like 7:15 a.m.
Gotcha. All right. So, point being, Rise of Resistance, we got the big task accomplished of the day, but now we have the other half. Like, did we accomplish kind of like we finished the steak? Do we get the dessert? Rise of the Resistance is the ultimate dessert. You know, speaking of dessert, I'm a little hungry.
Oh yeah.
You know? Are you
Right.
hungry? Because I'm a little hungry. Let's have a little pit stop. Because this has all been very exciting and like nerve inducing, man. All this railway stuff, man. I need to be I need a little calm down meal here. What do we got?
Let's raise the roof inside the hoop-de-doo. So, Dragon, I went to the hoop-de-doo review. Have you ever heard of this?
Got nothing.
All right. This is the oh yeah, we also got to do the Mickey Mouse Shorts Theater on its opening day too, so that's cool. Anyways, the Hoop-de-Doo review is way out in Disney's Fort Wilderness campgrounds. You have to take a bus from the campground parking lot to get to it. It's way out in the boonies, but it's very, very worth it. This was an outstanding show and a great dinner. So basically, Dragon, if you know anything about the Golden Horseshoe Review or anything like that, it's pretty much like a Wild West vaudeville show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's a lot of comedy, a lot of audience interaction. But let's talk about the food. And first of all, I love one of the things I love is that they basically break up the acts by meals. So they'll have like an opening act, and then they'll serve you an appetizer, and then they'll have a middle act, and then they'll serve you dinner, and then they'll have a closing act, and they'll serve you dessert. So basically, the thing that leads you to dinner is the main guy's like, I got one question for you folks. Are you hungry? And then, of course, you do the typical theme park thing where the audience reacts, and he's like, no. I don't think you folks understand. You're at the Hoop-de-Doo Review. So I want you to answer this and answer it loud. Are you hungry? So, Dragon, they literally drop buckets of fried chicken, buckets of pork ribs, sides, glorious sides, baked beans, corn on the cob, mac and cheese, glorious mac and cheese. I loved the mac and cheese. Yeah, this was a fantastic dinner, a fantastic show, great comedy, great improv, awesome audience interaction. Oh God. And Monkey says, I was hungry. I could just picture Harold in the audience like oh God. All right, anyways. Oh, and also, Dragon, I had my best cocktail of the trip here too. I had a cranberry apple moonshine cocktail, and it was delicious. So, all right. That was the last pit stop.
On to back to the week, which I believe places us at, correct me if I'm wrong, Busch Garden.
Busch Gardens, Tampa, yes, which is where I did cheetah hunt. So,
right, okay.
Busch Garden.
Well, I know we're still in, but I just want to make sure we're still in the same place.
All right.
Okay. Tigress, did you do it?
No!
You didn't do the Tigers? What's wrong with you? How could you? What happened? Seriously, tell me.
Tigress! Right.
Yes, I mean, you're stomping on Angelina Jolie's dream, and she has so little to live for, man. What's going on?
Oh, God. Wow. Why does Angelina Jolie have so little to live for?
I know.
Got like 8 kids.
That's what I'm saying. Obviously, she has so much to live. I'll just go on.
All right.
The point.
So the reason I didn't do Tigress is because I really should have, and I really regret not doing it just because it was an easy credit for me to get, and I just didn't get it. But we were in a little bit of a rush. I wanted to really make sure I got one of the other credits of this park. And honestly, it's a clone of a ride that's at Six Flags Discovery Kingdom. It's a clone of the Superman ride. It's got the exact same layout as the Superman ride at Discovery Kingdom. So that's why I decided to not do it. I wish I would have, though, because like I said, that's just like an easy credit, and God forbid I'm like at 99 or something and I can't get to 100 because I didn't do Tigress. I'm gonna freaking shoot myself if that happens. But we'll see.
Dare I ask, did you get on the Scorpion ride?
Yes, I got on the Scorpion ride. The Scorpion ride is is a very classic Schwarzkopf looper, and Schwarzkopfs are known for being very forceful. This was very forceful. It's a nice classic ride. It's only about 60 feet tall. It's got one vertical loop, but I enjoyed it a lot.
Well, you know what, Tiki? Tell me about something you didn't enjoy. Tell me what happened with the seals. Wait, was it seals?
Otters.
Otters, stupid. Tell me what happened with the otters.
Okay, so I'm like, ooh, look, you can swim right up to the tank. I'm gonna put my phone in my pocket and go in the water. That's basically the end of the story, Dragon.
Well, that's not the end of the story.
Well, I mean, it's the end of the phone story. It's the end of the phone incident. That's pretty much what happened. You can pretty much connect the dots from there. Do I need to go on? Do I need to recount the details?
Well, I was going to, but if you just want to cap it off there, I guess.
Well, what more do you want to know? You can pretty much connect the dots. I'm still bitter about it.
I'm saying I want to get into the bitter realization and just that I was going to get build it. Let's just put a pin in that. We'll just
okay. I'll put you in my head. I'll put you in my head.
That's what I'm saying. We'll get there. Okay, so take me back to the day, man. Okay, so you ride Runaway Railway. Take me to the. Okay, so what's the journey to Rise of the Resistance, man? So you accomplished the big thing of the day. Take us. You're going to Rise of the Resistance, man. How's the journey getting there? Like, how's the foot travel?
Well, first of all, Dragon, we have to do the boarding pass, right? It's not as easy as just going there.
Yeah, back in my day, you just walk to rides and get on them. But I mean, that was ages ago. But
so the boarding pass is essentially a lottery, where right when the park opens, you have to go onto the app, you have to request a boarding pass, and then they put you in a boarding group. The higher the number of your boarding group, the longer it'll take you to get on. You got me? You following me?
So far, yes. Very convoluted, but I get it.
Everyone does it at the same time, so it's essentially a slot machine. You like slot machines, right, Dragon?
I can take or leave them. More of a blackjack man, but yes, I like slot machines. Sure.
all right. So it's essentially that. It's essentially like pulling the lever on a slot machine. And we get boarding group 58. Now, boarding group 58, the question is, when do we get to go on it? Do you want to know now or do you want to know later?
I want to know right after this segment of Busch Gardens. So, Montu.
That was the last coaster I did of the trip. And that honestly kind of disappointed me just because I'd heard a lot of hype for it. It's a B&M inverted coaster. I heard it was like super duper forceful, one of the most intense B&M inverted coasters out there. And I got to admit, in terms of forcefulness, Top Gun at Great America is maybe a little bit more so for me. I don't know if it was just like where I was sitting or maybe the fact that I was overhyping it for myself. I don't know. I mean, I liked it. It had a great layout to it. But like I said, I think the problem was I was just expecting the intensity to be a little bit higher.
And Kumba. Is it Kumba?
Kumba. Yeah, Kumba.
Kumba's cousin, yes.
Right.
Tell us about Kumba.
Not much to say here with Kumba. It's a B&M sit-down coaster, which is very similar to a floorless coaster, if you remember my description of that. You know, the vertical loop, the dive loop, the zero-G roll, etc., etc. The one cool element of this is that the vertical loop kind of wraps around the lift hill. And so as you're going up the vertical loop, you get a kind of a great head chopper moment where you think you're going to like kind of collide with the lift hill. So that was cool. Overall, I will say I wasn't as hyped for this one as I was for Montu, but I ended up enjoying it a little better than Montu. So that was a plus.
All right. Back to the Star Wars of it all. Back to the day.
Yeah, I got on at about noon. Here's the deal, Dragon. I wish I hadn't spoiled it for myself, because not only did I spoil it for myself, but I like studied the layout of this thing, so I knew exactly what to expect at every turn. The one cool thing was seeing what?
You mean to tell me? So you're like you're walking amongst the stormtroopers, and you're like, seen it already.
Not exactly, but I mean, like, it wasn't as mind blowing as it could have been had I not spoiled everything for myself. But with that being said, the scale of the ride is absolutely incredible. You know, especially the AT-AT room, and you know the room with the cannons, Dragon.
Do I? Yes.
That room is incredible. That is easily the best room in the attraction, which I think is great because it is one of the rooms that uses screens the most prominently. So it's like Disney figuring out a way to use screens and still have it kick ass. I mean, overall, Dragon, here's the thing. I hesitate to call it the best theme park attraction ever built, just because I don't know if it's going to have the same sort of legacy as something like the Haunted Mansion or Pirates of the Caribbean. I say that just because once people are aware of the tricks and everything, I don't necessarily know how, because this is a time investment, man. It really is. I don't know. I can't in all good consciousness say it's better than Haunted Mansion. It's the best Disney ride ever. It's easily in the top 5 Disney rides ever, I would say so. Easily, very solidly. But I can't say it's the number 1 with a bullet, just because I feel like time needs to time is going to be the ultimate deciding factor in that argument, I think. I think right now it's too early to make that call one way or another.
Back to the garden. Shikra.
Shikra was my favorite coaster at Busch Gardens. This is my first B&M dive coaster. I've heard B&M dive coasters be referred to as one-trick ponies. And for me, if this is a one-trick pony, then it's a pretty damn cool trick. So essentially, this is a very, very long train. It has about 9 riders per row, and the rows like kind of extend out over the track. And the dive of it all is the fact that the drop is just straight vertical. It's like a 90-degree vertical drop straight down. And yeah, it's wonderful. It's a wonderful ride. I think it's got a lot of good elements to it. It's got a great splashdown at the end. I liked it a lot.
All right. Cabrera's Curse.
It's Cobra's Curse. Where do you get
Cabrera from? Sorry is a bad typo. So
is it a typo?
No. Well, not on your end. It's a typo on my end.
Okay.
Cobra's Curse.
Yeah, Cobra's Curse is a mock spinning coaster. It's one of the best spinning coasters I've ever been on. Really cool theme to it. You go up an elevator lift hill, which is cool. They're employing that more and more on coasters, and I'd love to see it more. It's got this really cool kind of centerpiece Cobra statue that is, as you would guess, cursing you as you go through the ride. Really fun ride.
All right, now I want to go back to the day and just kind of round off the Rise of the Resistance stuff, but I also want you to lead the charge with Monkey saying in the comments here, with kind of this little moment the two of you shared.
Oh, let's see. What is he saying?
Basically, you go to the little stormtrooper's room, then you come out, and the Monkey's asking the big question: are you ready to rise?
And I remember that because we were kind of like waiting around for our boarding group to get there, and and I'm just like, oh hell yes, let's do it.
Yes, all the excitement, all the elation. You're about to step into Star Wars, man. You step into Star Wars, you go on the grand adventure, you go through the ride that you've seen before, but you're there. And then you walk out.
Yeah, absolutely.
When you walk out, how are you feeling, man? How are you feeling after you walk out of that thing?
I'm feeling very satisfied. I'm feeling like, yeah, I got everything done that I wanted to get done today. Let's go to Epcot.
Yes, and let's of course, Dunkirk ends on kind of a bittersweet yet hopeful note. So let's end on the hour, much like Dunkirk ends on the hour. Well, at least, yeah, essentially on the hour. Okay, So the phone. Okay, so you've come out your little frolic with the otters, but you've realized, oh no, how
Oh no,
dumb.
I realized that it's in my pocket about 30 seconds into the honor strike, but by that point it's already too late.
If
That's the thing.
I can either continue the frolic with the otters, or I can just like panic and like it's too late. 30 seconds have gone by. No hope. I got no rice near me. Goner.
Yep, pretty much. Pretty much. That's exactly what happened.
All right, so like
On
in
a
you.
bittersweet note, Dragon, though, on a bittersweet note, and this is where we're going to end things.
Yes, exactly. Go on.
After that, I scuba dove for the second time because I had already scuba dived for the first time that day before that happened. And Dragon, I gotta tell you, scuba diving was one of the best things of the trip. I absolutely loved doing it. It was magical. They had this huge reef. It felt completely natural. It was man-made, but it felt completely natural. There were just a ton of like giant stingrays and all these tropical fish, and I was just in amongst them, and it was wonderful, Dragon. That's the memory. That's the memory. Even after the phone thing, I did that essentially to kind of like, I need to go scuba diving because that's the coolest thing here, and I need to forget about the phone. So while I did not have a phone for the rest of the trip, which really hindered things, you can imagine communication issues between my grandma and I were we're really
Strained to say the
we're really
least.
yeah, we're really strained to say the least. Exactly. Sorry. But that scuba dive was magical. That
In other
scuba
words,
dive was magical.
all your hopes and plans and documentation of your trip gets submerged within the park that you're visiting. It's like, oh god, it overwhelmed me in a sense. I'm underwater in terms of my technology. Been overwhelmed. It's all for naught. But then you dive even deeper, man. You submerge yourself in kind of the true beauty of a park, the natural world, man. You dive deeper into said world, and you escape it all, and you take it in, and you forget your troubles. And
I would
basically,
agree.
in becoming overwhelmed and getting fully underwater, you find yourself. You find a peace. You find a tranquility. You find a joy, a happiness. And that was your trip. So let's tally up.
Yeah, and tally up. Yeah. Tally ho.
Okay, let's see.
My
So we
grand total, Dragon, is and you forgot one, by the way. You forgot Sand Serpent, but that's okay. I'm glad that's the one you forgot because that is just a very, very typical off the mouse wild mouse coaster. And with that, I'm going to just you want me to list off everything?
Well, if you can do it fast, sure.
Sure. All right, number 68, Hollywood Rip Red Rocket. Number 69, Revenge of the Mummy. Number 70, Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure. Number 71, Flight of the Hippogriff. Number 72, Manta. Number 73, Journey to Atlantis. Number 74, Kraken. Number 75, Mako. Number 76, Mind Blower. Number 77, Galaxy Spin. Number 78, Freedom Flyer. Number 79, White Lightning. Number 80, Cheetah Hunt. Number 81, Cobra's Curse. Number 82, Sand Serpent. Number 83, Scorpion. Number 84, Shikra. Number 85, Kumba. And finally, the last coaster of the trip, number 86, Montu. All right. Any last words, Dragon?
So 86. The boy did it, folks. He did it.
And I only missed two.
Still not sure how that math works, but I'll go with it anyway. Point being, he made it. The boy did it. He achieved his goal. Hooray for him. Trip was a success. It was an adventure. It was all the adjectives. And we're done.
All right. And thank God that I got back when I did. That's all I can say. All right. Well, thanks a lot for joining us, folks. Thanks to Monkey, Clad, Karinga, Pink Pearl. Let's see who else. I think that's everyone that joined us.
Monkey, Claudia, and Pink Pearl.
Yeah, and thanks to anyone from WDW Magic who joined us as well. Have a good night, everyone. See y'all later.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.